It's cold. I got the space heater on. Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to get started building this TRX4 Sport Kit for Operation 11 Charlie. So here we go. Alright, so I just went ahead and got the transmission started. Got the first two sections put together. Everything's really coming together easy. The directions are great. Good illustrations. Not really hard at all. So I dropped the gears into the 1/2 of the transmission. I'll get some grease on here. I like to use the Cal RC grease. So I'll just make sure I put a good coat of that on and we'll be in good shape. And just got a good coat of grease on the gears on the inside. So here's the transmission case. I am almost done with this assembly of the transmission. Everything went together really well, just really need to pay attention to what you're doing. I did actually miss one of the bearings. It goes on the very back side, back here. But I found my mistake and I was able to put the bearing in without having to take the whole thing apart. I have to put together the slipper clutch assembly, but when I get that done, I should not have any extra parts. Traxxas usually does a nice job of making sure that you have everything you need, but they don't exactly include a lot of extra screws or anything like that. So if you have any extra parts, you might want to check your manual, make sure you didn't miss anything. Alright, so here is the completed transmission with slipper clutch assembly. Pretty straightforward. Everything feels real nice and smooth. I think I did a good job. The manual shows you how to adjust the slipper clutch. I adjusted this pretty tight. That's the way I like my trucks, but the recipient of this truck, I'll include the manual so you can adjust the slipper clutch as you please. The only other note really on the directions that you have to pay attention to, these spring washers, the way you have to do them, the orientation of them, just pay attention to it. It's not hard, but it's easy to just grab washers, throw them on. Pay attention to how you're putting them on. So I'm moving right along to the assembly of the differential spool. This is all pretty straightforward. You really want to just make sure you follow the pattern that's outlined in the directions. And one more little note, the screws actually have Loctite on them already, so you don't have to worry about using Loctite. And just like that, the two spools are together. Alright guys, so I got the rear assembly all together. This was really straightforward, very easy to do. Everything went together real simple. Just make sure you pay attention to the directions, make sure that you have everything oriented the correct way, and it's really no problem at all. And the one thing I'll say is just be careful to not over tighten these screws. It is very easy to do if you're not paying attention. If there's no need, don't over tighten them. I'm doing everything by hand. I'm not even using a drill. So I would recommend just doing it by hand. These axles have the little E-clip up top here. Just kind of seals up the space where the cable would go should you have the locking unlocking diffs. So you do have to put the one E-clip in there. You got to find that little piece to stick in, and that just keeps that all protected. I use the Cal RC Udder Butter, so everything is nice and greased, and I'm going to move on to the next step. Actually too, it is nice when you flip the page, you see a completed assembly. You can compare what you built to the picture. If it looks different, you know you have a problem. Also again, you shouldn't have any extra parts. All the screws, everything else should be used. Actually kind of funny, as I'm saying all that, I realized I missed two screws. These two that go on the front. I got all the ones in the back done. I forgot these two screws here, so I'm just going ahead now and throwing those in. And I got the front axle assembly finished. Again, very straightforward, just follow the directions. Went together really smooth. Make sure you don't over tighten the screws, make sure you don't miss any screws. I got the two front ones in on this side, and I'm in good shape. Everything is coming together very nicely. So all total with this build so far, I'm about an hour in. I got two axles done, and I got the transmission. I am taking my time, I'm not rushing, but I'm going to keep pushing through and I'm going to get the chassis assembled. This will be getting the frame rails together, getting everything set up. It's going to actually start looking like something. It also helps when you put on the front bracket the right way. Alright, so I got one side done. I did forget to put this front shock mount on, so I went back and put that on. But this is all looking good. And now I'm going to put on the other rail on this side. And just like that, the chassis is done. Not too bad. Got everything hooked up and ready to move on. Gonna mount the transmission and get the motor set up. And actually, I wasn't even thinking. I installed these shock towers, but I don't need them. I have the 8080. These are the inner fenders, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these installed while I can. Just take off these shock towers and get the fenders installed. Alright, super simple fix. Just took off the old shock towers, put on the fenders, and this thing is looking a lot better. Alright, so now I'll move on to getting the transmission mounted and getting the motor in. Alright, so the transmission is in, nothing's binding, everything's in good shape. I'm going to go ahead and put this 21 turn, it's a reverse turn, stock motor into it. This is something I had on hand. It's pretty much brand new. So I'm not even sure if I ever even used this. But yeah, going to put on the 17 tooth pinion and get this in. This process is really straightforward. You put the little mounting bracket on, it tells you how to do it in the manual. It's basically C and then C, which is straight across, but you get this mounted up on the motor, put your pinion in, and everything just lines up. Really no thinking, no worrying about doing mesh or anything like that. Everything is good to go. Okay, so I got the receiver box in, I got the receiver in, and then also I got the servo in. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and just moving on now. I'm going to put in the ESC. Another stock component, this is the XL5 HV. This is the stock ESC that comes with the Traxxas TRX4. I had this in my parts bin. This looks pretty new actually, still has the stickers on it, so this will be a great addition to this build. Alright, so the ESC, everything is run to the receiver, and I got the antenna tube on. So I'm in pretty good shape. This is a good time now to install part number 8028. This is the lighting module. This was supplied to me from D&D Sports along with the fenders and along with the rock lights. It really just adds a lot to this truck, and it's going to make it look really cool. So I'll get this thrown in, and yeah, we'll keep moving. Lots and lots of progress. Things are coming together really nice. Everything's pretty much done as far as electronics. Just got to get on the servo horn. I thought this was super cool. They actually include the steel servo horn with the kit. You're not getting that plastic servo horn that strips out in 2 seconds. You're actually getting the steel servo horn. Very cool to see this. So I have a Venom 1300 small 3-cell battery. Gonna plug this in for a couple of reasons. One, make sure everything works, but two, also to center the servo. Success. Alright, so now that I know my servo is centered, I can flip this over and I can go ahead and put on this servo horn. Alright guys, so I think this is where I'm going to end the video. I got a lot of progress done, but I'm getting tired, it's getting late. Even with the space heater, I'm starting to get a little cold out here in the garage. But very good progress, very happy overall with the way things are going together. I'm glad everything works, that is huge. And on the next video, I will do the shocks, the links, and I will pretty much have the chassis assembly done. I still have to figure out what I'm going to do with this body. I hate painting bodies. I'll be honest, I just don't do a good job of it. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna paint this up or not. I have the paint to do it, so maybe I will. Or maybe I won't. Tell me in the comments below, what do you think I should do? Should I paint it or just leave it clear? Alright guys, but I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I explained some things. This kit is awesome so far. Love the way it's going together. Everything is fitting perfect. I think it's a great kit for all RC skill levels. It's going together great. They make it super easy with the Loctite on the necessary hardware. I mean, overall, just a great build. I really think it looks cool with these fenders now. So much better than just the shock towers. Kind of glad I put the shock towers on just to get everything set up the right way according to the manual. It was so easy just to take them off and put the fenders on. So here we are. It looks great. Thanks to D&D Sports for providing the fenders and the lighting module. Also the rock lights, which I haven't gotten in yet, but I will get in. Alright guys, so if you like what you saw, please click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a great day. I'll see you all soon.